Alright, so I am going to show you my build that I have for Diablo 4 Season 7. It's been a minute since I've actually posted anything, but I thought you guys might find this interesting because it's such a cool build. So I'm running a Necromancer. Currently I'm at Paragon 212, running in Torment 4. I'm going to show you the build in a minute, and then we'll get into a little bit about the play style and just kind of how much fun this build is. All right. So the nice thing about the build, one of the best things for me about this build, is that it doesn't require any major uniques that are super hard to get, or even it doesn't require any mystics or anything like that. If you get those and you want to enhance the build, that's fine. But you don't have to do any of those things to be able to get this build to actually work out for you. I'm running a mostly overpower build, and the cool thing about the Necromancer is the way the Bloodwave is designed. So Bloodwave Necromancer is that it lets you overpower all the time. You're constantly overpowering. So overpowering along with critical strike is really how the build is designed. We're using Tidal, and what Tidal does on your weapon is it gives you the blood wave that you're using as your ultimate. It's allowing you to do it twice. Maybe I should actually jump into the. Let's do that. Let's jump into the way I'm actually using the build. So in the Book of the Dead, for this build, we're sacrificing everything. We're not running around with any minions in this as part of your Necromancer build. And for the skill tree, it's pretty simple. I started off using Reap. Really, honestly, doesn't matter what you choose over here because you're only going to be using it for a little while. I chose Reap just because I could, and I gave it one little ping to the extended just so that we could get over to the actual core skills over here. Inside the core skills, I'm running Blight. Again, this is doing a little bit for us. It's not doing all that much. I've gone up to the Supernatural Blight as part of the build, and we're running a couple of Hued Flesh as part of this as well. But again, most of these are picks that just kind of get you down to the next level down here. From down here, we're actually running Blood Mist. Now, Blood Mist helps you out of tight corners. Once you get into Before Torment 3, you can use Blood Mist to actually do damage. With 3 out of 5 in the Blood Mist and curling up to the Dreadful Blood Mist, you can actually get some damage done. And I'm also running over here Corpse Explosion. Again, kind of getting everything set up the way you need it to be to run the build. But you do want to make sure that you grab Fueled by Death. This is going to help you out a little bit when it comes to consuming a corpse. And then you're going to run Titan's Fall, which gives you extra damage while fortified. So the main factors of this build are damage while fortified, damage while healthy, because you're going to be using fortification a lot. You're not going to be taking damage very much. And so you want to make sure that you have that set up that way. You can also run in here with Necrotic Fortitude. It gives you a little bit of a barrier on top of your fortification as well, which can be helpful at those times when you're taking hits in Torment 4. But again, it's not super important. Down here, I picked the Decrepify. I picked Decrepify just because you're going to be picking up some of this as part of your Shadow, and it's going to be pinging every once in a while. You're going to be using this in Season 7 with part of your Witch, the Witch powers that you get and add along with this. So I got Decrepify, and with Decrepify went the Abhorrent Decrepify just to kind of add on to that. And then with the Amplifying Damage, we're increasing your Cursed and your damage to Cursed and Feared enemies. You don't really care about the fear that much. It's the curse part that's important. And then up here we're running Death's Embrace, where close enemies are taking extra damage and deal less damage, which can also be important. And then we're tossing one in Precision Decay just to get a little bit of a lucky hit chance for a couple of things, but it's really not doing that much for you. And then down here is where we really get into the meat of the build. So in your Corpse and Macabre skills, we're taking Corpse Tendrils. I'm gonna tell you why that's super important later on. And then along with Corpse Tendrils, we're picking up these guys, and you can come back and screenshot this. Do whatever you want to throw these in here. You're picking up the increased damage while healthy. You're picking up blood skills that increase your overpower. You're adding to draining of vitality, so that by hitting enemies with blood skills, it has up to a 30% chance for you to fortify for your maximum life, so you're constantly fortified all the time. Under your Reaper's Pursuits, the important piece here is that your blood skills are also going to be darkness skills, and so you're going to get extra damage for using darkness skills, blood skills as darkness skills. So that happens a little bit. I happen to have some rapid ossification here, and that's only because of an item that I'm wearing that whenever I was doing the crap at the blacksmith, it gave me the wrong thing, and ran out of ways to fix that. And then down here in your ultimate skill set, you're going to be taking Bloodwave. You want to go all the way to 5 with Bloodwave and take it all the way up. You're going to take 3 in Finality, so that you're increasing damage after casting an ultimate skill. You're going to be putting 3 in the Mementa Mora, so that sacrificing your Skeletal Warriors and your mages increases the bonuses by 60%, super huge. And same thing with Standalone, so that when you don't have any minions, you're doing way more, you're getting damage reduction, and it's huge damage reduction too, so that's really nice. And then as an Inspiring Leader, when you're healthy, you're gaining 12% increased critical strike chance, and along with your own critical strike chance. Right now, my critical strike chance is 13. When I throw Precision on there, I'm getting close, or it's 30. When I throw Precision on there, I'm around 40. And then with this, you're gaining an extra 12% up to 50%. That's super huge with your critical, because you're going to be hitting crit strikes all the time, and you're going to be overpowering all the time. And we're choosing Rathma's Vigor as the passive, which is obvious. The whole point of this build is getting the overpower. So every time your stat goes to 15, your next hit's an overpower. You're going to be overpowering literally all the time. Super huge, super important. In the Paragon, the first Paragon, we're going with in your glyph socket. I forget what it's even called. Essence. You're going with Essence inside the first one. Inside the second one, you're going with Sacrificial. You're getting the Blood Begets Blood, just to get the damage. I'm going to kind of go slow through these so that you can come back and screenshot it if you want to actually do your build. My build was based on a Rage Gaming build, so I'm going to give a little bit of credit to those guys as well, because it's based on their build as well, although I've added quite a bit to it and did some around there. So in this piece, I'll link to them and give them their due props, because they're the ones who had this build as an original one, and I want to make sure that everybody gives the props to Rage Gaming, because it's a super cool build, and that's what mine is based on. All right, so back over here to the guys, right? So we're running a regular thing here. I chose a weapon that's giving me critical strike on my dot. I haven't got any 2 dots for this yet. They're dropping super rare right now, but we're adding Tidal, and as you can see, with Tidal, we're getting 2 blood waves, and each are dealing an additional 468% damage. When you get it all the way up, it's 480% damage. It's crazy talk, okay? Yen's Blessing, get as many dots as you can. Obviously, you want to bump it as much as you can. But the biggest thing about this pair of boots is the resistances, because you don't want to have to waste resistances on other things. So if you're running these boots, you can get those resistances. And on top of it, it has 60% chance to trigger a non-mobility, non-ultimate skill. So it's triggering things like your grasping vines, you're grasping tendrils all the time, and that's important because you want those things hitting all the time. Then we're coming to the important piece of this whole build, and this is a new item that came out in Season 7 called Kisame's Legacy. It does several important things with Bloodwave. So casting Bloodwave fortifies you, which is great because you're fortified all the time. So by casting this, you're fortified. And because you're going to be literally doing nothing but casting this and grasping vines or corpse tendrils all the time, you're going to be fortified all the time, and you're going to be using this all the time. I'm going to show you part of that and the reason why. Because your blood orbs are giving you back your ultimate cooldown. It works as part of your cooldown. You're adding ultimate cooldown to a whole bunch of the items as well when it comes to the things from your blacksmith. Most of these are going to be damage while fortified and lowering your ultimate cooldown. That's the biggest part of how you want this build to set up. And then on top of that, getting your lightning resistances and all your other resistances are a little important. But we have something else that's important as part of these builds, and that is occult gems. Now, occult gems aren't part of the build that Rage Gaming had. He kind of actually ended his build around Paragon 180 or 190, and so didn't include any of these at all. He did include the witch skills, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but he didn't include the occult gems. The nice thing about the occult gems is that not only do they have powers that they give you, but every single one of them gives you 160 armor and 8 resistance to all elements. So you're getting like 24% resistance to all elements just from these gems, as well as the gems do other things for you. So depending on which ones you get, you can have regular blue gems. I'll kind of show you some of those when we go over to the Tree of Whispers in a little while. That's what this whole season is about, the Tree of Whispers, so I'll kind of show you that a little bit. And then, so up here I'm running Grasping, Ward of Grasping Veins. So Grasping Veins being important because it boosts an extra set of damage. You need that when you get into T4 and you get up to like level 100 inside the horn, because the amount of damage that you're going to be doing until you get all of your paragons up into legendary and all your mastery skills all the way up to 12, the amount of damage that you're going to be doing isn't enough. So the corpse tendrils increases your damage quite a bit, and it increases your critical strike damage quite a bit as well. So you want to make sure that you're running that. You have the vehement brawlers tag that you're putting on one of the rings. What that's going to do is anytime you cast an ultimate, it increases your damage by 28%, and you gain 2 additional ultimate skill ranks as soon as you cast it. So I had a 5 in it. As soon as I cast it, I get a 7. So I'm my extra set of waves that come through there are hitting at level 7 and doing just a tremendous amount of damage, as you'll see in a minute. And then we're putting Fast Blood. The reason why we want Fast Blood on there is because blood orbs reduce your ultimate cooldown. I have it all the way up. Right now, it's reducing my cooldown by 3 seconds, which means I don't have a cooldown. As soon as I hit a couple of blood orbs, boom, my ultimate's back. I'm constantly running nothing but tendrils and the ultimate attack. It's literally crazy talking. I'm going to kind of show you how that build goes. So for the actual witch's powers in this build, we want to run the Twilight Warding Witch power. We're going to run the Hex of Shattering. We're going to run Soul Harvest. We're going to run Force of Will and the Aura of Siphoning. Aura of Siphoning is one of the first ones that you get. Gives you a nice little aura, and while you have that aura, a lot of other things are occurring as well. Once you get these all the way up to rank 20, they're super helpful in your attack. And then up here, you're running your Ultimate Witch power, which is the Doom Orb. By the time you get into Torment 4 and, you're running level 100 in the Horn, it's not doing a super amount for you, but it is kind of cool to have, and it marks where the closest enemy is, too, which is super nice. Right now, I'm in my Whispers, and I'm up to almost rank 6. I've just started rank 16. Sorry, I'm at rank 15. Let's go down to the Tree of Whispers really quick, because we want to kind of take a look at how this season is running. and what the important parts of the season are. So, inside of the season, and we'll jump back over here, it's all about the witches pieces for the most part. Once you get up later, you can see they want you being able to get the headhunter, right keeper. These are moving the coven ranks and getting the fugitive heads inside of the season. So you need to get these all up. Whenever you're running, you have to make craft. You have to craft the occult gems. You got to increase witch powers even if you're not using them to be able to get it all the way up, or get your coven all the way up to rank 20. And then once you get over here, it's the normal kind of stuff that you have to do as Torment 4 stuff and get that all taken care of. But the season itself is all based around the Tree of Whispers, and apparently what's happened was someone came along and they yanked all the heads from the Tree of Whispers, and by doing that, it's kind of screwed the whole tree up. And so you have quests that are given by Galena here, and you start out going around trying to figure out what happened, and as you're doing your runarounds, it's a pretty short quest that's in there, but it's cool. It's kind of fun. I liked doing it. I enjoyed it. But she's also the one who gives you the ability to create the occult orbs, or the occult gems, and they have 3 different levels. Each of these can only be unlocked by finding the grimoire that goes with it. So as you're running around trying to get fugitive heads or playing the game in general, trying to get Tree of Whisper stuff. So this green area, kind of like a Helltide, this green area is now a Whisper area. So just like before, where you would have the different Whispers that you could run in a particular area to try to get it, they've now made it green because all of the bad guys in this area, not just in certain areas of it, are ones that could help you with your hunt for fugitive heads. There's all kinds of little events that you can run inside of here, and little different things that you can do to cocoon and pop out exposed tree limbs, and I'll show you that here in a little while, where you can get what you need to be able to do the Tree of Whispers, which is kind of cool. And yes, as you're running it, you're getting Tree of Whisper caches. You're getting them all the time. You're Tree of Whispering your butt off in this particular season, so it's kind of cool. You're getting a ton of experience, and at the same time, you're getting the cool items that go along with that, as well as the drops that go with it. But for now, let's go take a look and see what actually running the Bloodwave Necromancer actually looks like. So I'm going to run up into one of these these Whisper areas up here and just kind of show you what it looks like when you're just running around in Torment 4 with this build. Pay attention to my blood, because you're going to notice that it's always fortified and that it's always barriered. I take almost no damage whenever I'm running around through here. You can see that my aura automatically popped up from the trees that I'm doing, and now all I'm doing is collecting blood orbs here to minish my ultimate and bring back my ultimate really fast. And you can see I'm constantly hitting my ultimate. Now, you just saw the number that I hit on that guy. It was 6,000 million. So I'm hitting 6 billion on just these normal guys out here. When I run it into level 100, I've seen it hit as high as 150 billion. It could hit higher than that. I haven't saved anything or screenshot anything to see what I'm getting, but you guys can kind of see in here just how this is running in Torment 4. Literally taking no damage, not even really paying attention, to be honest, with what that is. And so now we have a little event in here where we're running, we're protecting this little tree that's in here, and the whole time all we're doing is throwing down our ultimate, constantly blood waving these guys. It's hitting 2 or 3 different times, and each time it hits, it's hitting for a tremendous amount of damage. I just saw another really large billions of damage done. that pops up in there, and so you can see that this build is super cool. I really love the way it plays. Very fun to do, and at the same time, it's very practical as it relates to being able to move up and get the job done, so that while you're running around in Torment, you're not getting your butt kicked, which is nice, and B, you're also not having to work too hard on making sure that you're paying attention to how everything is going on inside while the game is played. So you just noticed I was able to get a Tree of Whispers cache from this guy right here. Those are located within inside of the green areas. They pop up as little things on your mini map that you can see as little purple quest markers, so that you can just run over and be able to turn in a Tree of Whispers cache and collect the cache without actually having to go back to the Tree of Whispers, and then you can just kind of bank that as it's running. The whole time that this is playing out, by the way, there's a new event that's running right now where you could pick up a shrine, and as you're picking up the shrine, it's giving you back, a whole bunch of the things. Each one of these little purple guys that I'm grabbing here, these are the Relentless Rots. These are the currency that you're using to upgrade your witching powers and to be able to do the occult gems and stuff like that. This right here is what they would call an exposed route. The exposed route is how you find fugitive heads. So as you uncover them and open them, sometimes they'll create what's known as a cocoon, which lasts for a little while, and then sometimes it's just see it in the mini map up there. There's a cocoon that's popped and showing orange on the mini map. So we'll just run over there really quick and try to get there before it ends, and be a little bit of a part of that if it's still going on when we get over here. There we go. This is the quickest and easiest way to find the fugitive heads that you need inside of the game for this particular scenario. And then, as you can see, we're popping more exposed roots. We're running a lot of fun here. I'm not having to really think too much. I'm not taking much damage as it relates to getting hit by these guys. I'm exposing roots right now so that we get more of the drops that go along with those. And as you can see, these are dropping just, hell of a lot of legendaries. They'll also drop uniques. They're dropping, things like Living Still and Malignant Hearts. And they'll also, if you get lucky, they'll drop a fugitive head. There's also a drought that you can use to make it a higher possibility of getting a fugitive head. And you can get those. They drop all the time as you get the quest markers and the Tree of Whispers stuff as you go through it. And so here's one of the big bad guys there. Sometimes they'll be the ones who generally drop the fugitive heads, and then you can use the fugitive heads to create the occult gems that you want to put inside of your different jewelry, and boost your output and your playability for this particular season by doing so. So super cool. So as you can see, it plays easily. It's super fun. It's not complicated. It's a build that you can put together really quickly early in the game. The Kissima's Legacy pants that you really need to run this build, you can get from Vershawn. I got them in my very first killing of Vershawn, and so it was super quick to get the initial drop. Took a little while to get one that had a drop with a dot on it, but again, comes very quick. So that's sort of how this plays. Very fun build to run, and it can be used, as I said, in running high-level items inside of the Horn as well. So we're going to show you what that looks like. Up to this point, I wasn't running anything special as it relates to a potion or a Actually, let me get rid of some of this trash I'm carrying. So I have a whole bunch of Mother's Embrace, so we're not going to worry about that. We'll kill that, and then we'll come down here and take a look and see what this tree dropped. Lots of experience, as always. Excuse me. And then we'll get rid of the rest of this garbage that came out of that. If there was anything, was there? Oh, look at that. It was all just these guys. So carryover from the Spiritborn addition to the game. We still have all of the same things. We still have the Infernal Compasses. I have noticed that the Infernal Compass drops, or the Infernal Compass sigils, aren't dropping anywhere near like they were last season. And so you want to make sure that you hang on to those until you're ready to go through and get good items from them, because I think I've only seen maybe a dozen Infernal Compass drops this whole season for me so far. So they're definitely not dropping like they were before. And I'm going to put on a Precision advanced elixir here, and then I'm running the Sage's Whisper. They've kind of changed the way the incense works a little bit, and they've bracketed out a little bit more into their separate areas to make it a little easier to find them, but not. It's actually a little easier to find the ones you want and to choose the ones you want, but they've gotten rid of a couple of them, like Chorus of War is no longer an option, and then some of the other ones that you may have chosen may also have gone away. I'm not really sure. So right now we're running level 114. As you can see, it's going to take quite a bit more damage to kill them than it was before. You have to be quite a bit more careful as well as to how some of the things are on the ground. So you can get feared, just the same as always. You can take hits, but you'll notice I'm not taking any damage at all, as long as I don't end up on top of one of those explosions. So as long as I avoid those explosions, as long as I'm keeping the hits going and I'm not staying in one place too much, as long as my ultimate is still running out there and constantly running, I'm constantly being fortified, and I'm hitting like crazy. I just saw 140 billion hit. Let's see what else. Let's see if we can pick one out that gets a nice, good hit on top of somebody. I'm hoping to see one hit like 500 billion, but I haven't seen one hit like that yet. So. Oh, this guy's going to pain in the butt. All right. So you'll notice on that particular segment, I didn't use the grasping vines at all, or corpse tendrils. When you use corpse tendrils with this build at the high end and Torment 4, you're going to be doing so much more damage. You want to use it all the time. It's way faster to kill guys when you're using it, and it gets you through the trouble spots quite a bit faster. The other thing that you can do is sometimes you're going to find yourself in a jam where you're either stuck behind someone, or you and an explosion's about to occur, or you can't get around a particular thing to get to the bad guys and that are hurting you bad. You can use the mist to be able to do that. I don't run it very often. I try to save that for when I'm actually in an issue. But that's another thing that's very helpful with this build is Blood Mist. It's not going to do any damage at all on these guys at this particular high level, or at least not enough to matter. But it will certainly get you out of a jam if necessary, and can be used to help you pick up blood if you're having a hard time getting the blood orbs to be able to run your ultimate. You can use it to run around and grab blood orbs as well. And you can see I'm constantly using the ultimate. Oh, I saw 109 billion just now. That was nice. took a hit from that that poison that went through, but still not enough to really matter. Dang, well that poison's crazy. See, you got me? That's what you got to be careful about, those explosions. But that's just always the way it is with Torment 4 when you get up to this level, so it doesn't really matter what build you're running. At 114 here, I'm starting to run into area where my mastery levels are only at 10 and 11, so I'm not all the way up on everything, and my paragons, the glyphs are only at 50 on some of them. I think I have a couple that are at 50 or 55, but most of them are around 46 still, so they're all legendary for the ones that I'm running, but they're not high legendary, and so that's part of the reasons why it's taking so long. But I'm still ahead of the game, as you can see with the time. It's actually harder to run the tunnels itself than it is to run the boss, because the boss gets killed so much faster, it's crazy. One thing that I have noticed with this build is that you want to be careful in tight places because it's more difficult for you to get your blood orbs back. A nice open space makes it a little bit easier for you to be able to run around and gather up the orbs. And so if you're in a tight space, kind of like some of these dungeons are, makes it a little bit more difficult to get your blood orbs. So you have to be more careful with how you're running it, and especially if, you know, like they're doing now, where they're sending this electricity everywhere, it's a pain in the butt. There we go. We got security in that. Let's get out of this. What's crazy is that I can hit for 600 billion, and these guys are still alive. A little bit behind now. catch up a little bit. All right. Now we're doing all right. The other nice thing, of course, about blood orbs is they're giving you back your blood. So they're constantly healing you while you're also lessening your ultimate cooldown. Definitely say one thing about 114. This is a hard level, bro. Oh, that was yes. Alright, 30 seconds isn't going to be enough to actually run through him. All the way up to 114, I was running it fine. But just so you guys saw, I can run this level, 114, with this build. It's actually really fun to play. Running it through Torment 4, no big deal at all. Running it all the way up to 80 inside of the horn, no problem whatsoever. So, again, I'm going to go back and boost up my stuff a little bit and finish off the rest of this build, but it's a great play. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know. If you have any tips or tricks that I can add to it to make it run a little bit better, that'd be great too. Love you guys. Hope the best for you, and look forward to seeing you soon.